My nurses and ushers start leaning against the door, I know they want me to hurry up and get through. Let's give an amen for our ushers. Yeah. Have you found the 24th chapter of Joshua? It's here. Therefore, fear the Lord and worship him in sincerity and truth. The Holman Bible says, get rid of the gods of your father that they worshipped beyond the Euphrates River and in Egypt, and worship Yahweh. Have we got it with us? But if it doesn't please you to worship Yahweh, choose for yourself today the one you will worship. Yes. The gods your fathers worship beyond the Euphrates River, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you are living. As for me and my family, we will worship Yahweh. Amen. Quiet, all look good. Amen. Amen. You may be seated. I'd like to use for a subject today, if you've got a few minutes, this subject.
Sit down.
A pastoral celebration and proclamation with an attitude. I'm going to say it again. A pastoral celebration and a proclamation with a passionate attitude. Now we got a witness. The Lord will only show you and me favor as we follow the leadership of the one that he has placed in charge. I wish that had somebody. That is, if you want the Lord's blessing, then you ought to seek to do and to become transformed, changed, attitude being revised and adjusted, is that if you want all of that to happen in your life, you need to praise God for the leader and the teacher and the preacher that he's given to you. I wish I had a praying church. Is that the secret is that you can't just ignore the provisions that God has made for you. And we're going to read this. Didn't our scripture say earlier is that he's given you pastors after his own heart. And we're going to read this. And on this pastoral celebration, we want to thank God for the pastor and his family. It's not just a tenure celebration. It's the fact that if he had just joined you tomorrow or yesterday, you would still have an enthusiastic and exciting celebration. Because you shouldn't just look at Pastor Griffin, it is that you should be looking before I got to the 14th and 15th verse and read it in your hearing, you will know right away that there was something significant going on. Number one is that this was the only time in which the whole of Israel had been called together as a group. Ever got a witness? Normally when Pastor Joshua was having a meeting, he would call the leaders and the so-called deacons and the so-called officials and call them together. But on this time, Pastor Joshua said, I want everybody to be in church. I would say that's right. And he called them together on the celebration of his last message that he gave to Israel. Have we got a witness? And this last message was 500 years from the time that Abraham did the same thing in the same location. Let's follow that here. It was done at Shechem. This is where the Lord went to actually Abraham and said, I want you to become the father of the faithful. Same location. But when Joshua called those same people, that is the inheritance of Israel, when he called them together, it was in the same location. He was preaching and teaching and giving them leadership and doctrine in the same place that Abraham was given the declaration that he would be the father of the faithful. Amen. Pastor, that seems just a little bit too fact-forward for me. Have I got a witness? Well, if you were to think about it, this is an amazing event. Because the Lord had not only answered his call with Abraham, he also answered it with Isaac. Isaac also built an altar at Shechem. So now I've given you three significant events that happened 500 years apart from the time in which Pastor Joshua is preaching his celebration this morning. Amen. So what I would like for you to take home and to live with you forever is that when the Lord blesses something, he blesses big. Have we got a witness? And those that choose to participate, those that choose to get out of themselves and do what the Lord allows them to do will always be blessed. Have we got a witness? And it happened right here. Look at the text. Is that they were told in the first part of the sermon is fear the Lord and worship in truth and in sincerity. Have we got a witness? Why would it be necessary for Joshua to be preaching a sermon like this? Have we got a witness? He had been with them in the wilderness. He had been given command, and they had come over into the land of Canaan. They were now in the land of milk and honey. Why would he focus on, in his celebration last sermon, why would he be telling the Israelites is that there's one more thing you got to do? And it's a significant thing. Have I got a witness? And the text says is that not only worship him, but worship him in sincerity and But Pastor, don't get technical on me. If I'm worshiping, I'm worshiping. No. There's a sign here that somebody may not be worshiping in true sincerity. It may be that we are play acting. But don't feel badly about that, because you can see it happened even in Joshua's time. Is that people decided that what they were going to do was to worship the way they wanted to worship. It's called the Burger King plan. Have it your way. Oh, have it. And Joshua took at the last session of his life, the last speech, because you'll see that in this own chapter is that after the service and celebration was over, is that Joshua died. And they buried him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are we going to do this?
Yes.
So what I would ask to you to understand that when God gives you somebody, when God allows you to have talent and skills that will exegete the word, that is, not only tell you what the word says, is that it will expose to you what the word is saying to you and to me. That's what a pastor's all about. It's not for you to come to church and just shake and dance. This celebration should be about God giving us a gift of a teacher. If there's anything that I want to happen at Greater Trinity, and I know this is happening at Pastor Griffin, is that I want to see people's lives change. We want to see some transformation. People that used to talk about everybody has now changed their tune. We got a witness. People that wouldn't even look at you will now smile and say, how you? That's what we should be thanking God for, is giving us some intervention in our lives, some direction in our lives, some guidance in our lives, to where we won't be able to avoid getting there. Have we got a witness? But the first thing I see here is that not only sincerity, worshiping in sincerity and in truth, the text says, do you have a minute?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Get rid. You mean to tell me back in Israel's day that they had people that not only play acted, they built their own gods. And how can you celebrate the gift of a pastor if you've got your own idol gods stored away for their worship? He says, if you want to do that, you got to get rid of idol gods. Have we got a witness? And look what has happened. Remember I said 500 years ago? Abraham was even across the other side of Euphrates River, and he came from an idol god worshiping family. Have we got a witness? Well, we'll take that fact, and you know what happened to Abraham once he crossed the river and God brought him into a new land, is that he made him the father of the faithful from then on. Have we got a witness? Well, what Alvin White is saying to you is that stop bragging or giving an excuse about your background. Have we got a witness? Doesn't it appear that some people are always blaming, well, you know how I grew up. Well, the Lord can change that. The Lord will change that. It's that Abraham came out of, and his father came out of an idol God-serving family. And then the Lord made him the father of the faithful. I was asking, is that I got to, if I want to see the blessings and the favor of the Lord, is that I've got to show a change. I've got to show a sign, and I've got to stop complaining about I was born black. We got a witness? Somebody said the black of the berry is yes. Anyway, so I don't act like a victim. And I won't be a victim. I wish I had somebody. Because that somebody needs to know that a child of God raises his head up. A child of God steps with some vigor. A child of God will wave his head. Child of God is enthusiastic and excited because by faith he knows there's something else is about to happen. And have we got a witness? Do you know what our church did? While one of the candidates, I won't call his name, but the male presidential candidate. Do you know what our church did? Every Sunday, we told our church congregation is don't get in a shooting match or a shouting match. Pray for it. Have we got a witness? I did have a few wrinkled foreheads. I'm a Democrat. I will be praying for him. Have we got a witness? But Romans 13 said pray for you. And within 2 weeks, his own party. I wish I had somebody. Now, there's a spread of either 6 to 18 points in the leader states. And there's no blood on our hands because we've just been. When we get rid of idol gods, when we stop investing in things that don't make sense, when we become joyous about celebrating the pastor and his gifts, is that there is a whole lot of favors that will come to you and me. Have we got a witness? So I would put for the first point is that I'm making a clearance. I'm getting all of those things out of my life. Have we got a witness? And idol gods come in various forms. They come in friendship. They come in jobs. They come in families. They come in things that are made up. And there might be somebody sitting here wondering about whether the God that they serve has been fed. I wish I had somebody. And God is so good in his instruction that he gives to the leader, his pastor. He said, tell them that if you really want to praise me, if you really want to worship me, is that you've got to clear your house up. Yes, sir. Somebody needs to make a spring and a summer clean. Have I got a witness? You can become joyous in this celebration if you can get rid of idol gods. Amen. Have I got a witness? He says, here's the way to do it. Is that the 13 verses precede